underdogs, underestimated, we the ones.
It's the Underdogs, back with you for another week. I'm Jordan Brenner, joined as always by my co-host, Peter Keating. Peter, what's up?
How's it going? Great time of the calendar of sports here, isn't it? Everything's going on right now.
It is. You'd think we were running on fumes after our college basketball goodness in March and the Masters, but no, we're right back into it today. With a little bit later in the show, we're going to be joined by David Sampson of Nothing Personal. He is going to talk to us about the WNBA's moment in time and how the league can capitalize financially and really turn this Caitlin Clark spectacle into a sustainable, strong financial model for the league. But first, NBA playoffs are getting going, Peter. We're recording this on Wednesday afternoon. The first play-in games were last night. More to come tonight. And Peter, what we've seen in the betting lines is that there are two clear favorites to win their respective conferences. The Celtics are minus 175 to win the East. The Nuggets are plus 135 to win the West, even though they're the 2 seed. So our job as the co-host of the Underdogs is to find underdogs. So first, let's start in the East. If a team other than the Celtics is going to win the conference, who will that be and why?
Jordan, there's one answer. The answer is my and your New York Knicks. Jordan, we wondered all season amidst all these injuries. Now, look, the Knicks' best player is hurt. I mean, we know this.
Second best player.
All right, well, the second best player now, because when he got hurt, another player emerged who was even better, right? So Julius Randle is out. Something people think about the Knicks, it isn't exactly true. They think they're ferocious and outstanding and great on defense and not offense. That's a function of pace, Jordan. The Knicks play at the slowest pace in the NBA, so they're actually 7th points per 100 possessions offensively, 10th in defense. They do play a tough, grinding defense, and it is interesting and kind of exciting, especially if you're a Knicks fan, to watch. But what's really important is that amidst all the injuries they dealt with, we wondered, would they find productive ways to get their best players in combinations that work on the court at the same time? And the answer has been yes. Two things. Tom Thibodeau has found combinations that work involving Brunson and not involving Brunson. The OG Anunoby, Isaiah Hartenstein, Dante DiVincenzo trio has been outstanding. And all of those combinations of those players have worked. But the key is Anunoby. Jordan, Anunoby's played 23 games since he came over in a trade. The Knicks are 20-3 in those games. He is a difference maker, especially on defense. All the combinations he's in with other players, they're +7 to +13 per 18 or 20 minutes on the court. This team is just playing at an outstanding level. They never give up, and they're undervalued. They're +1,200. Jordan, the Knicks were 3-1 against Philadelphia this year, 2-1 against Miami. What is the case for them to be a longer shot than Milwaukee? Milwaukee's been a sub-500 team for half the season.
So just to give you some numbers on that, the Bucks are
right,
plus
so
700.
Give me the Knicks at +1,200. I like it better than Philly at +750, Milwaukee at +700, and as you mentioned, Boston, deservedly the overwhelming favorite at -175. The Knicks at +1,200. Come on, if you take the scoring margin and adjust it by the strength of their opponents, they're the second best team in the conference, and that's
There's
what I
some
think they
value.
are.
There's
I
some
think they're the
value.
second best team in the conference.
There's some value in a number 2 seed being plus 1,200. However, I have answers for what you're bringing up. The Knicks don't have shot creation outside of Jalen Brunson. So while I love OG Anunoby, he's not a shot creator. He's a corner 3-point shooter who plays off other players' creation. He's a great defender. Teams are going to scheme for Jalen Brunson in a way they didn't in the regular season, and he is a small point guard. It is easier to take a guy like that out of a game. The question is, who becomes your secondary shot creator in the playoffs? They will miss Julius Randle in that situation. I just don't think this team has the weapons to win the East. There's certainly look, I don't think anybody's beating the Celtics in the East, save for an injury. But I'm going to go with the team.
If I said that, you would say, we're talking about underdogs. Yes, I think the Celtics are actually undervalued and underappreciated.
I'm taking the team that has the best shot to beat them in a 7-game series, and that's the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, they may not even make it in. If they lose the play-in game tonight and then lose the subsequent game, maybe they don't get in. But their upside is higher than everyone else's, except for Milwaukee with a healthy Giannis, but that's a big if, and I'm not betting on them now, and the Celtics. So I like the team they've constructed around Joel Embiid this year. I like Tyrese Maxey. They do have multiple shot creators. They also have role players. So at plus 750. And by the way, the market is on them because this is a team that we don't even know if they're the 7 or the 8 seed or out, and they're ahead of the Knicks as a favorite, right? So the Sixers at plus 750. If I have to pick someone other than Boston, that's my pick.
If you're going to pick a long shot, sometimes you have to do it based on you think the market making a mistake. I think the market is making the error of thinking the Celtics will automatically be in after the play-ins. There's no guarantee of that. Secondly, Embiid was hurt in game 81 of the season. He looked okay, but he didn't play in the last game. DeAnthony Melton, Mr. Do Something, is also hurt. You think he's out for this game that they have to play. I'm not sure that they're healthy. And also, was Brunson better in the first 20 games of the season when everyone was just getting used to his explosiveness? Or was
what was anyone getting used to? He was on the team last year.
Or
he had a great season last year.
That's what I'm saying. Is he better? Okay, so was he better in the last year and the first 20 games of the season, or was he better in the last 20 games of this season when everybody's scrambling trying to make the playoffs? Teams haven't solved him. Teams have not schemed.
Really? Did
him.
You watch the playoffs last year? The playoff basketball and regular season basketball are simply two different animals.
I watched the playoffs. You mean when Randall was shooting about 18% last year?
Fine, but if you don't have a secondary shot creator, it doesn't matter. You can take one player away. You have to be able to beat a team a different way. Who is creating offense for the Knicks other than Jalen Brunson? The answer is no one. But let's move to the Western Conference, which is, I think we would agree, more wide open. Again, if I had to pick someone, would I pick the Nuggets? Yeah, but they're plus 135, and then comes in a potpourri of other options, right? You got the Clippers plus 600, Thunder plus 700, Mavericks plus 750, the Suns plus 850, the Timberwolves, who went into the last day of the season with a chance at the 1 seed, are plus 1,000, the Lakers plus 1,200 now that they're locked in, and then you have the Pelicans and Kings at plus 5,000 and plus 6,000. One of them's in, one of them's out. Peter, where are you going in this group?
This is a bet on the first round going well, but I've liked them all season. I like.
Oh God,
them now.
Are we on the same place?
And they are. Let me see. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. They're the sixth longest odds in the conference. I love the Timberwolves at plus 1,000.
Oh my God, we agree. Oh,
Gobert and Towns have stayed on the floor for most of the season, 60 games. When they're on the floor together, this team allows fewer than 100 points per possession. I know Towns was out because he tore his meniscus, but for the most part, the chemistry issues, the injury issues that this team faced, that all the other teams in the conference have faced, they really settled before this season began, and then they had to keep them healthy, and Towns is out for about 3 weeks. Look, Edwards has a great season. Conley has had a great season, and I'll tell you one thing, I was concerned that Conley was playing so many important minutes and doing so well. Could he keep it up? He's 36, but guess what? Their backup point guard, Jordan McLaughlin, is having a great season. He plays a dozen minutes a game, but he's shooting almost 50% on threes. So I like this experiment. I still like it. Now, I want to raise one big red flag. They've been horrible against Phoenix. They got to get by Phoenix.
I want to get into that,
because I don't know about that first round matchup because they got blown out the last day of the season. They kind of lost all their games to Phoenix by double digits.
Yes.
But I love the way this team is put together, and I'd like to see it succeed. They're so much fun. They're so interesting to watch. And I have a little sentimental attachment because the window's snapping shut on them. If they don't win now, this team's blown up, and I kind of don't want to see that.
Well, I don't know that I agree with that. I mean, they have
they'll be out of money is all I really mean.
But they have a transcendent young star in Anthony Edwards, who there's no reason for him to go anywhere. But I landed on the Timberwolves as well, mostly because there's just value at plus 1,000 for a team that, like I said, was one bad game against Phoenix away from being the 1 seed. Okay. And this is, by the way, a team that I've come to lately because I picked their under wins and got trounced before the season. So I admit when I'm wrong. The Gobert Towns pairing works well. And to your point, when Towns, Gobert, and Edwards play together, they're plus 9.3 points per 100 possessions better. Now, just to, again, remind everyone how good Denver is. When Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Aaron Gordon play together, They're 13.5 points per 100 possessions.
Although that's
better on
kinda-
offense than defense. So it's a challenge. The Phoenix game's interesting. They are 0-3, but one game was, I think, early November, and then 2 games were within the last couple weeks, including one without Towns. Finishing up the regular season, no question that's a warning sign. The Suns arguably had more to play for to get out of the play-in game, but game mattered to the Timberwolves. They wanted that 1 seed. They fell to the 3. Now they get the Suns again. It's a tough matchup, especially because it's a great litmus test. The Wolves play big. The Suns play small. Okay. It is going to be a challenge for the, will they play Rudy Gobert off the floor again? I don't know, but you do have the ability to play Karl Anthony Towns at the 5.
Yes.
And adjust to matchups. So,
and wouldn't it be nice to see him just go crazy in a series like this, just once, like fully live up to everything, just have everything work out for those guys? I think if there's anybody in your life who hasn't been caught up with the NBA, you want to get them back in. This is such a great, with the players, the style matchups. There's a great series to watch.
Look, anyone can emerge from the West, truly. And I will say this, that we are all overlooking the Thunder because they came along so quickly. They are plus 700 as the 1 seed. So that does matter. They've played well against Denver in particular this year. They do have a star in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, another budding star in Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren is the type of versatile, modern big who can cause problems. So bottom line, it's going to be super fun to watch. Tune in, but something else you should tune in to is the WNBA this season. And we will talk with David Sampson about where the league is headed right after this.